have a quorum. So I'm going to go ahead and call this regular meeting of the Board of Public Safety to order. For the record, today is Wednesday, March 2nd, 2022. I don't know, do we have anybody participating online? No? Okay. Then all participants are here attending in person in the City Hall auditorium. Before we begin the meeting, could we please pledge the flag?
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. For the Board of Safety members, I just wanted you to know that Deputy Chief Tripp had texted me this afternoon, and I called him and spoke with him. He does have a terrible cold. The good news is he tested negative for COVID yesterday. We'll just keep our fingers crossed that that continues to be the case. Slim on staff in the meeting today. I'm going to jump right into item number 1. I will entertain a motion to open the meeting to the public for members of the public attending in person only.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Commissioner Cogswell, seconded by Commissioner McLeod. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Anyone from the public wishing to address the board?
Too bad Doug wasn't here. He probably would have said nay just for purposes. Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners, Chiefs, Department Heads, and all of you who so admirably commit to the safety of the well-being of Torrington's amazing citizens. It was an honor and privilege to serve with you all towards the betterment of our community. The love that I have for the Board of Public Safety is driven that we as commissioners, myself in the past tense, obviously, while elected politically, ultimately serve as a unified collective, sharing from our respective knowledge and experiences that transcends politics. The Torrington Board of Public Safety embodies what every elected official should work and strive for. It is a camaraderie that while elected with party affiliations, we ultimately serve united as a collective with more unanimous votes than not. To all department heads, your commitment to the dedication of Torrington is beyond compare. Each department has wants and needs, and while finding the ways to meld the two together in order to not add any financial burdens to the community. That is astonishing, the fact that you all are able to do that so beautifully. So thank you. However, the financial costs that you faced with may be large. The value of Torrington citizens is immeasurable, and they deserve the absolute best which you all provide. Thank you, everyone, for allowing me the opportunity to serve the public with you all, and it's been a blessing and an honor to be here. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bingham.
Thank you.
Anybody else from the public wishing to address the board? Right, then we will move into item 2. I would entertain a motion to accept the meeting minutes from the February 2nd, 2022 meeting.
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner McElroy,
Second.
and seconded by Commissioner Cogswell. Questions? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 3, I'll entertain a motion to accept the meeting minutes from a special meeting dated February 23rd, 2022.
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner McLeod, seconded by Commissioner McElroy. Questions or comments on the minutes? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 4, I'll entertain a motion to accept Police Chief Baldwin's report for January 2022.
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Cogswell.
Second.
I heard a second first from Commissioner McElroy. He just beat you out. Any questions or comments on the report? Oh, sorry. Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 5, I'll entertain a motion to accept Interim Fire Chief Tripp's report for January 2022.
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Cogswell.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner McLeod. Any questions on the report? Comments? Hearing none, I'll call the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 6, I'll entertain a motion to accept Training Officer Shopey's report for January 2022.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Cogswell, seconded by Commissioner McElroy. Questions on this report? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 7, I'll entertain a motion to accept Fire Marshal Becerra's report for January 2022.
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner McLeod,
Second.
and seconded by Commissioner Cogswell. Questions on the report?
I had one, but it'll wait.
Okay,
It'll
all
wait. Yeah, it'll wait.
right.
Yeah.
All right, item 8. I'll entertain a motion to accept EMS provider activity report for January 2022.
So move.
Thank you, Commissioner Battle,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner McElroy. Any questions on the report? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 9, I'll entertain a motion to consider business by the volunteer fire departments.
So,
Thank you.
second.
I heard a motion by Commissioner McElroy, seconded by Commissioner McLeod. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We're open to our volunteers. Anything, Chief Necklace?
Actually, we don't have a whole lot this month, actually. Our big thing is in April, we are planning on doing a pasta pancake breakfast. And I'll get more information about that as it comes a little closer. And besides that, glad to hear that there's a new chief. Find out how that works out.
Thank you. Anything from Torringford, Gary?
No, we just like to thank trained officer Shobi because he came in on a weekend and gave our guys test with the pump so they could drive the truck. Did it on a Saturday and Sunday. Want to show our appreciation for that.
Thank you. Any questions for the volunteers? No? All right, moving into item 10, I'll entertain a motion to consider business by department heads.
So move.
Thank you,
Second.
Commissioner Battle, seconded by Commissioner Cogswell. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Chief Baldwin, it's all on you
It's all
tonight.
on me tonight, me and Jeff. You wanna go
You
first,
and Jeff.
Just a few things to discuss. This coming Wednesday, March 9th, up at the middle school, we're working in conjunction with PAL. We're co-sponsoring an event at the middle school to deal with internet safety and drug indicators for parents. We're getting a lot of interest in the event. We did this pre-COVID, and we're doing it again this upcoming Wednesday. We have a friend of mine from the state police is going to be doing the presentation regarding the internet safety for children, and an individual who's affiliated with the FBI will be coming up to talk about drug indications. This Saturday, there's a PAL basketball game at 4 p.m. With the New Britain PAL unit. So Torrington versus New Britain will be a relatively good sized game, should be a decent game. All day Saturday at the Armory, there will be PAL basketball events taking place, but this will be the, I guess, the key event for that afternoon. We have 2 recruits in the academy right now, expected to graduate on April 1st. That would be recruit Powell and recruit Castillo. They're doing great in the academy. So very fortunately, we're looking forward to having them on board. Unfortunately, we're trying to get academy seats. We've been put on the wait list. We put in for 4 for Meriden. We've been put on the wait list for, which was scheduled for July. We're trying to get seats in New Britain, potentially Hartford. I spoke to Chief Spagnolo in Waterbury. We're trying to get some seats in Waterbury. If these fall through, we won't be able to get any seats until September of this year, which means that these recruits will not be eligible to be on the road until 2023. I'm also looking at potentially losing 5 more people within the next few months from the department. So we really are in a tough situation trying to get these positions filled. We tried to get a request for Milford. They had 92 departments, or they had 92 requests. They had departments request seats totaling 92, and they're only running a class of about 30. Again, we're really facing some issues trying to get the people certified. Commissioner McLeod was at an interview process that we had this past Tuesday. There were 38 people that were called, that 38 people throughout the state, that's the state test. Of those 38 people, 17 were invited to the interview. Only 13 people showed up, and out of those 13 people, we're looking at maybe, if we're lucky, 2. We don't know how that's going to go. So we are having a problem with recruitment, retention, and getting officers. We did take delivery of the dash cams. That's part of the police accountability bill. We're expected to have those installed between May 3rd and May 6th. Those should be coming up shortly. And I just want to mention a great case that my detective division, specifically Detective Maddie Gelomino, worked on. You may have seen it in the paper today. We arrested an individual by the name of Christopher Constanzo. He was picked up in Rhode Island on charges for kidnapping. This individual was arrested for sexual assault of 2 women plus kidnapping charges. Detective Gelomino did an outstanding job working with U.S. Customs, the FBI, the Vermont State Police, as well as the Connecticut State Police. I can't say enough about the great work that she did. She was the lead investigator, and she did an outstanding job in bringing this case to a conclusion. That's it for the police department side of it. From the emergency management perspective, there's really not much to report on the emergency management side. Our state positivity rate as of today is 2.3%. Even though we've relaxed the regulations concerning masking, we still have to make sure that we be vigilant regarding the COVID virus that is still out there. It's still active. Jeff, you might be able to speak a little more on the COVID things that are going on and what you're seeing, but that's it for my emergency management report. That's it.
Questions for the chief on his report?
Just curious on how soon you will know if those seats are available. You don't know?
No.
And I'm only thinking budget-wise.
It's an
If it's not till next year, we got half a year of
Yeah, we can't take.
probably
over
year.
salaries. Yes, yeah.
That's just,
Yeah,
as we're always looking to,
Mhm.
catch that dollar.
yeah.
Yeah, I thought you were going to talk about the expense for the training piece or the academy piece, so
But I
that,
mean, A lot
yeah,
of things, that'll
Yeah,
come
no,
on.
we don't want to take a chance of giving up those seats
No,
in
of
the
course,
event
of course
that,
not. No.
we do get some seats. So we're aggressively attempting to try and get these things. And unfortunately, we're not getting any certified officers applying for our department. Just,
Not
Yeah.
to butt in,
Yeah.
but one of the things that we've talked about in the past too is sometimes you actually have to make the hire, even if you don't have the seat, because if you have a great candidate, it doesn't mean, hey, we don't have a seat, so we're not going to hire them. Sometimes you actually have to hire them and wait for the seat. So his salary might actually come into play still, so.
Okay.
yeah.
So the situation, is that because everyone's kind of in the same boat that they're trying to get so many people onboarded within their departments because of recruitment and retention?
Yeah,
or-
a lot of departments are having recruitment issues, but obviously my concern is our department, my department.
No, I understand. I guess my question is
Yeah.
the wait list in the different academies.
There's other departments, yeah, so there are other departments that are on the wait list as well. We asked for 4 seats for the post class in July. And Post has been very good with us, giving us seats, and unfortunately, they put us on the back burner.
But there's no requirement to give certain allocations to each department or anything along those lines.
No, there isn't.
I guess that's what I'm driving at.
No.
Okay. Without that saying too much, you say 2 out of the 13, is that just based on, felt like those are people that would be qualified for being officers in Torrington?
Commissioner McLeod could probably speak on that a little bit, but
Without, I know you can't say too much.
No,
but-
unfortunately, it's just the quality of people that are applying for the positions is not as it was years ago. And we're really, and again, this is not just for Torrington, this is everywhere. When I talk to other chiefs, they're having the same issues and the same problems. It's just we're just not getting a good pool of candidates for these positions.
My last question is on accreditation. One of the things I've noticed the legislature is talking about from accountability bill was there's a certain level that's a higher standard of accreditation. I believe we do not have that right now. Is that correct?
Correct. There's right now as the accountability bill stands, it's the CALIA accreditation, which is the national standard. Legislatures and chiefs associations are looking to try and because that's very expensive to do the CALIA. If the legislature does not adjust that, it's going to be very expensive for us. And I am budgeting for the accreditation. So what the chiefs are doing is we're trying to get the state accreditation, which is a lesser, it's not national, but it's state standards that are pretty strict and stringent. But there's relatively no cost to that. The only cost that would be personnel. We can't do this. When you get accredited, you need to have one person, at least one person dedicated to the accreditation process. This can't be a part-time situation. And unfortunately, with my manpower, it's going to be very, very difficult to put a individual full-time in the to do accreditation for my department, which is being mandated by this statute.
Right. And we were just given the budgets. I haven't obviously looked at it yet, but what would be a ballpark of what, if we were forced to go forward with it, what's?
The accreditation, generally speaking, it's somewhere around 30 to 50,000. And then there's initially, and then there's a yearly fee that you have to pay to CALIA. And I'm not quite sure what that is, but it's several thousand that we'd have to pay to maintain that accreditation.
And that would have to be a sworn officer that's assigned to that, working on that.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
We are actually, I did budget for the accreditation with our legal firm. They do accreditation, so we're going to have them help us with this accreditation process should we move forward. So I did put some money aside for that.
Okay. And so far, our delegation in Hartford seems supportive to at least look at this, or?
They are looking at it right now. So
Okay.
They are discussing it right now because they do recognize that there is a financial impact and a burden on departments and municipalities concerning this.
Okay, thank you.
So I think we're gonna have to also look into plan A and B, because obviously we're losing more officers than we're gaining.
Correct.
And you can't work 100 hours a week, so we're gonna have to start discussing ways of dealing with protecting the people on the police end when we're losing. And fatigue is going to set in with other officers working double shifts all the time.
Yeah, well, fatigue is setting in. Definitely, the guys are being ordered in quite frequently. It's getting to be quite a bit, unfortunately, and it's and I'm going to be very blunt. It's financial. The city has to have a better package to attract officers, and they also have to have the means to retain them and to hang on to them through, and we've discussed it many times with pensions, and bring the pension back. Most departments who have the pensions, who have a decent pension, are not having any difficulty with retaining their officers based on the way the pension is. But I also recognize that it's a financial burden. But we need to be competitive. I mean, there's a lot of departments that are getting a lot of certified officers, and there's officers are starting at $90,000. We don't have that here. Newington, for example, is just put out an advertisement to hire certifieds. They're not only they're going to give them a $5,000 sign-on bonus, plus they're starting at around $90,000. We really do need to build. We need
Their
to bring
starting
up.
range was between 75 and 90.
I'm sorry.
That range was 75 to 90, depending on their years of service, right?
Based on but most of the officers, for example, there's an officer that left Simsbury that's going there and is going to be starting at the higher rate. So,
yeah,
that I'm aware of.
So one of the things that we did this differently with this budget, as you go through it, is I did provide something we've never done before, what the base salaries are for all of our patrolmen, our officers, just to give you an idea of, what is our starting or base pay for entry level, and once they hit patrol A, what those salaries are, just to give you a frame of reference of where we stand as compared to other municipalities, other strategies that I know that other municipalities are using, or other police departments they are dedicating a recruitment officer, somebody within the department that is doing that. They're out there, they're headhunting, going into other departments, going into the academy, and actually recruiting certified officers. And we have talked in the past about sign-on bonuses, which wasn't overwhelmingly embraced at the time that it was brought up with the union. And we are having ongoing discussions about bringing in a drop program, so that we can hold on to some of our police officers that are close to retirement age or retirement age, but maybe are interested in working for a few more years. I appreciate the questions of, what it is. I think it's not one thing that that makes it more difficult for trying to attract officers. New Haven has something like 70 openings and vacancies in their department. I know Hartford is having the same problem. I think it's a number of things that we have to look at to make ourselves more attractive and be a little more aggressive in our recruiting efforts. And in this budget, you will see that Chief Baldwin, at the time the budget was developed, it was 9 vacancies. I do believe we now are at 10, 11. Yeah. So I agree. It's a problem, and it's got to be a multi-faceted approach to solving that problem. Even hiring for other positions in the city, very, very difficult to find people that are, the labor force out there is very slim. Whether it's a street department, whether it's an engineer, whether it's, our financial offices. I think the only department that we don't have any difficulty recruiting is our fire department. Everything else is tough.
Everybody wants to be a fireman.
Heck, yeah,
I want to be a fireman. Can I do
me
that?
too. So other questions on the report?
Just to make a very quick comment. I had gone and done some of the interviews maybe 5 years ago. And then when I came back and started doing them again 6-8 months ago, I came out of the first interview day shaking my head, asking what happened. Because it was night and day isn't even fair to compare the candidates before. And we would struggle trying to determine who not to give a conditional to 5 years ago. And now we look at each other's scores kind of and go, can we find 2? That's how different it is. It really is. It's crazy.
Different world.
Yeah, it really is.
Any other? No? Well, then now it's on you. Anything from Trinity?
Just to answer Chief Baldwin's question here, that we have seen a real reduction in COVID. We're still required to have masks, especially N95 for certain procedures, just because the risk is so high for a lot of those aerosolized procedures that we're doing, which kind of segues into this. Trinity has actually purchased these fiber optic video laryngoscopes, and I'll leave these here, and you can, if anybody wants to take a look at them, but they're actually for us for endotracheal intubation, when we actually put an endotracheal tube in somebody's trachea. So it's got a pretty bright light on it, and it's kind of an anti-fog, but it also has a video. So we're actually able to still use it as a manual laryngoscope, but it also has a video, so we can actually be further away from the patient when we're advancing that endotracheal tube and not be like inches from their face. We're always looking at ways to improve out of hospital cardiac arrest saves, and I think this is going to be a huge game changer for that. So med control doctors down at St. Mary's tried a number of pre-hospital ones that are out there, and this is the one that they chose after attempting, trying intubations on traumatic cardiac arrests and medical cardiac arrests and respiratory failure. And this was the one that they found that's going to be the best for us. So we did train the trainer the other day, so we're starting to roll these out. So we're hoping in a month or so we'll have all our paramedics trained on that. So that's about it. If anybody's got any questions on that.
Only hope nobody needs to use it on me ever. All right, any questions for Trinity? Jeff? None? All right. Moving into item 11, I'll entertain a motion to consider business by mayor and members of the Board of Public Safety.
So move.
Thank you, Commissioner Caswell,
Second.
and seconded by Commissioner McElroy. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We'll start with Commissioner Battle.
Oh, I have nothing tonight. Hi, everyone. That's it.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner McLeod.
Yeah, I would love to know where we stand on hiring a deputy police chief.
So
It's been in the budget since January, and
Yes.
we've been kind of busy.
A little bit.
I understand that,
yeah.
but yeah, we need to move forward, I think, and that's part of the big picture of everything also.
Yes, yeah. So I know that Chief Baldwin, Jamie Lemire, HR Director, and I have a meeting Tuesday morning. And some recommendations will come out of that. So more information will be forthcoming.
Okay.
Commissioner Cogswell.
Just two thank yous. First, to former Commissioner Bingham, for being here and everything you've done for the city and your time of service on the Board of Safety is obviously much appreciated. And also just to the Police Department and Detective Division, I think that was great work that with the recent arrest, and there's definitely a lot of kudos for. It's not an easy case, and we're lucky to have such dedicated officers within our department. So I want to make sure that's highlighted. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Commissioner McElroy.
Yeah, so I'd like to thank the volunteers again for helping out the city as much as they do. Jeff, also, great job you guys are doing out there. I mean, it's a tough world. There's a lot of calls going on. I just see the increase in the fire calls and PD, especially for the PD. Obviously, you know, I support you guys 100%. I know how hard you're working, and I'm going to work just as hard to make sure that we do something to, one, worry about your safety, and two, get people, protect the citizens of Torrington. So that's my goal.
Commissioner Spino.
I don't really have anything. This is my first regular meeting. So I'm just excited to be here, and thank you to former Commissioner Bingham for talking to me about this. Thank you.
Giving you good advice. All right, then there being no further business before the boards, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Spino, seconded by Commissioner Cogswell. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We're adjourned.